It is summertime, which is my favorite season, even as a third trimester, fourth time pregnant mama. I enjoy all the fresh mulberries, the fun drinks, the beautiful flowers, the time outside, and just being a more slow and intentional season. So come along as I share a day of the summer home and the summer house and life for us. When I am filming this video, I am 33 weeks pregnant and I still enjoy going out on my early morning walks. The daylight comes about 5 in the morning, so it's already pretty light when I head out, but I enjoy my walks and just getting some movement in, seeing the sunrise, and just enjoying the fresh air. The garden is ever changing, and I just shared a video about the late spring garden. It's pretty much summer by the time you see it, but how it is changing and blooming and growing, and it needs a lot of nurturing and tending. But I just enjoy those peaceful moments with the birds chirping and the breeze blowing and time in the quiet garden. Fruit and nut-filled, freshly baked sourdough bread was with breakfast for today. And then it's time to take care of our summer home. The summer home is one that is not used and cared for as often. We're just outside so much. We are in the gardens, we're riding bikes, we're swimming, but a summer home still needs to be cared for, and there's times where a little more upkeep is needed, and today was one of those days. For some reason, all the dress-up clothes and some stacks of papers were brought out to the living space, and when you have little helpers, they are necessary to teach them to pick up the messes they make. And of course I'm helping, obviously, but in order to vacuum, which my oldest happily volunteers for, I will let her do that. And laundry. This is always ever cycling through, especially in the summer when there is mud pies to be made and there's swimming to be done. The towels are cycling through often, but I don't mind doing that because summer doesn't last long, and I want them to be able to enjoy the time they get to be outside and remember those memories of swimming in the pool in the backyard. It's just a little blow-up pool, but it's still so much fun for the kids to enjoy, and I can putz around in my garden while they're swimming and they can help water. So yes, laundry is just ever going through, not even in the summer months, just only, but all the time. It was also time for me to change out my tulips and more spring decor for some summer decor. I don't do a whole lot in the summer because it's just that time of year where we are outside, like I said so often, but I still want to maintain my home and add beauty and loveliness to the space. So I do switch out some baskets to more hats. I often will just use fresh flowers, which you'll see later. But in the summer months, we also like making homemade kombucha. And kombucha is a fermented drink that I make with a mix of black and green tea. This time I am using some organic juice to pour in with it, and also then another one will be like a blueberry ginger that I put frozen blueberries and freshly grated ginger into it. And it's just such a fun drink for the summer and so refreshing after a hot day outside, or something to drink while you're sitting outside by the pool. So kombucha is a thing I do more in the summer months, and just a refreshing, fizzy, natural drink. routine in the summer is somewhat similar to that during the rest of the year. We do maintain a schedule, very flexible if we're gone, of course, but reading is always part of that, especially in the morning before we head outside after snack time. So some books are great for the kids. And then it is mulberry picking time. It's wonderful when we have neighbors who have a plethora of trees that we can pick from, purple and white trees, and mulberry trees in our area pretty much grow like a weed, but it's fun to bring the kids along and have them experience the fresh picking. My girls especially enjoy this time immensely. My oldest has loved mulberry picking since she was probably 1.5, and she just eats them up and shares the abundance so that we can make fresh pies, fresh mulberry jams, and there they are, picked and washed and ready for some wonderful dish. Before any baking happens, I need to refresh this space and get it clean. The summer, the spiders are crawling around more, there's more cobwebs, there's more dust. The wind has been blowing lately and getting everything just a little bit grimier and dirtier as this space is not even insulated, so dust leaks in. Animals, bugs, I shouldn't say animals, bugs and spiders come into this space. And so I shared a video a couple years ago about this space, and it was called Neutralize the Ugly. It is not my favorite space in our home. It's just kind of like a little tacked on back porch that's our laundry. It's very tight and small, and getting shoes and coats on in the winter is really challenging in this space. And so it'll eventually be changed to something different when we get our basement renovated and move the washer and dryer to the basement area. But for now, I'm just caring for it and still continuing to love on this space, even if it's not the most beautiful, but I am continuing to neutralize the ugly by putting cute little baskets in there, decanting laundry detergent, having my dryer balls that are used in a crock, having a few plants there, hanging basket on the wall, using wicker baskets for laundry, just things that I love and enjoy, but still function. And that is a way you can neutralize an ugly space. Just add some beauty, cover up some eyesores, add plants, just make things pretty for what you enjoy and like. And so this summer porch needed just a good little wipe down and cleaning. While I am tending to this back porch space, my kiddos are playing happily outside in some water or riding bikes or just playing in the yard, playing with the dog, and I appreciate how much my kids love being outside. I think part of it is I am an outside girl. Like I said at the beginning, I'm a summer girl. I just enjoy it, and I think it's so important for kids to get outside and have that fresh air, have that creativity. And I'm going to mention here and just talk a little bit about our small home. We live in a 950 square foot house with 3 kids, 3 growing kids, and another baby on the way. I often get asked by church members, people we see or who know us or who know where we live, if we are going to move to a bigger house, if we're going to build on. And of course, we're renovating our basement, which will add another 400 square foot. So it won't be huge, or 500 square foot. So it'll be more like a 1,400 square foot home. But I love our small space that we live in. It is so easy to do a quick clean of the house and to maintain, to keep more functional and practical because I don't bring in so much stuff into my home, and keeping kids' clothes more minimal, my stuff more minimal. And I just love the small home living at this stage in our life. So I enjoy the home I live in. And with having a nice outside space, the kiddos can just play and be outside for hours and hours a day. The summer home definitely needs a daily sweeping, especially when the kiddos come in and out of the house with wet feet or leaves stuck to their feet or bring wet towels into the kitchen floor. It just needs a quick sweep. Not always do I mop it or get like a wet rag on the ground, especially in the summer, because it just sometimes is futile. So a good sweeping will do for today. Summertime decor is fresh from the garden. My daisies are blooming. I have yarrow blooming. I have some other herbs that have blossoms on it. My coneflower is almost there. Some phlox are close to blooming. And so I am bringing life into the home for my summer decor. I took all the faux tulips out, as you saw, and I am going to add some life into the house. Sure, it doesn't last for months and months without having to change it. Really, a week and a half, if that, for the fresh flowers is about all I can get. But when there are cut flowers to be had, I am going to enjoy those and create bouquets all over the home if possible. So on the piano, in our kitchen, in the bedrooms, wherever I can just add those touches of natural beauty is how I decorate my home for the summer. Besides, it's free and they smell good and they just bring in a different atmosphere to the home with that life from outside. And again, something that brings me joy, creating beauty in the home with fresh cut flowers from the garden. I have shared in the past a few blog posts about summertime decor in the home and the summer home. So I will link those in the description box for you so you can see how I've decorated in past years with fresh cut flowers, frugal style with a lot of thrifted pieces so that you can get some ideas for your summer home decor as well. During nap time, I sometimes enjoy just having the peace and quiet, listening to a podcast. I've been on a M is for Momma kick with all of her podcasts, enjoying those lately. So I've been listening to those while I decorate. And just such beauty to be had in this view of the fresh flowers. The wonderful thing about fresh cut flowers right from the garden is they can be swapped out as each new flower blooms during this season. I do also keep up some faux flowers like eucalyptus, some faux baby's breath, and then I have a few live plants around my home. It's just such a beautiful sight to add different colors and different life to little niches in the home. A double-sided view of the piano and the built-in shelf in my kitchen. What a beautiful sight with those wonderful daisies, which are one of my favorites. And then, of course, it is time for an afternoon latte. I enjoy these iced when it is warm out, of course, because it's just so refreshing and cooling, and I am definitely a lover of coffee for sure. Now it is time to make that lovely mulberry pie that I mentioned earlier. I'm going to start with an all butter crust, and I use the recipe from Sally's Baking Addiction. I can put it in the description box for you. It's a beautiful, lovely crust that is easy to handle, doesn't take much effort, and is just a great texture. I definitely am an advocate of using all butter for the crust. It just has such a nice flavor, like I said. Now, with cooking in the kitchen, I sometimes tend to feel lazy maybe, or just lack of desire to cook and bake in the kitchen in the summer months as much. I think it's because we're just outside so often. Sometimes I'm gardening up until that noon hour or the supper hour. We're outside, we're on an outing, and so I kind of either just get behind or I just don't have the desire. But there are things and tricks that I do to keep fresh food and wholesome, hearty meals on the table. Ideas like slow cookers and having meat thawed, because something like that can just be thrown into a Dutch oven a few hours before, especially if you're home, and do a roast, potatoes and carrots. Or we do grilling. My husband likes grilling, and we have a charcoal grill that he definitely mans. I don't do much of the grilling. Or just having like a sheet pan meal and doing just a meat, a veggie, and a carb. And that's kind of what we tend to lean towards more so in the summer. Not the warmer, heartier, heavy meals like soups. And sometimes I'll do casseroles, like a tuna casserole comes together really quickly, or a goulash. But having that meat in the fridge thawed that you can just pull out and whip together in less than 30 minutes makes a quick meal. I do have an example. There was one day we came home after the lunch hour and kids were hungry. And so what I did was I pulled together just meat, cheese, crackers with some frozen smoothie we had in the freezer, thawed that, and we had a quick meal, which was so fast and easy. So those are just some tricks and things I try to do in the summer to keep myself getting fresh food on the table, as well as nourishing my family and not losing that lackluster for cooking. So as you can tell, all throughout the day, I take moments to maintain our home. And in the summer, like I said, floors just get a little bit dirtier. So I am taking time to clean this little hallway floor that we have. Like I said, our house is small, so this does not take very long, but I'm doing a little bit deeper clean because it had been over a week since I had gotten to this area. Moving a few things, scrubbing the bathroom door, because guess what? When they're wet after swimming and they need to go use the bathroom, they just get things a little bit dirtier, the kids do. And honestly, so do I. If I'm in the garden and come in, my hands are not the cleanest, nor are my legs or feet. And so dirt just sticks to things a little bit more. So while the little guy is taking a bath, I can do some of that. And I really think multitasking in that way works, or just finding those 5 minutes while someone is playing in the bathtub, one of your kiddos, is a great way to maintain the home. So as the evening widens down, the kids are in bed, I enjoy sitting outside on our back little deck, enjoying the sounds outside of the birds and the wind in the trees like I did in the morning, and just kind of relaxing and enjoying our new lights that we got strung up in the backyard area. So thanks for coming along and seeing my summer home inside and out.